Okay, we are going to make a top and a trouser. I will take the measurements in this video. I will cut the fabric in this video, and I will sew the top and the trouser in this video. Hello, welcome to my live stream. My name is Esther, and welcome to my channel, Everyday with Esther. So in this video, just like I said, first of all, happy Christmas and New Year in advance. Compliments of the season. I wish that this period, that's the celebration of the birth of Jesus Christ, and the New Year, it's going to bring success, growth, and all-round breakthrough in our lives. All right. I wish every one of us good health and God's protection. Despite whatever that is happening in this period, we are going to be exceptional. We are going to be protected by God, and we are going to be preserved. Straight to the video. I am taking the measurements right now. So I am my model. I am the model. It's actually my clothes I'm going to sew, so I'm using my measurements. I will first of all take the measurements, then cut the fabric and sew the trouser and top. Therefore, this video is specifically for those that are into sewing or those that want to learn how to sew. If you are in this live stream, please give me a thumbs up, comment, and share the video to whoever you think that needs it. All right, so straight to the video, straight to the teaching. First of all, I've marked out my measurements, and this is the directed here. Okay, these are the parts that I'm going to measure. I am to make a trouser and top. So I am to measure all this: my shoulder, my bust, my half length, my waist, the length of the top. I want a beautiful, simple top. So I'm going to take a measurement of that. Then, after the measurements for the top, I am equally going to take measurement for the trouser. So I'll be measuring my waist for the trouser. Hello, welcome to my live stream. I'm going to measure my waist for the trouser. In case you don't know, or in case you want to learn fashion and designing, all right? When you're making a top and trouser, you first of all take your upper measurements, then you take your lower measurements. And your upper measurement comprises of your shoulder, your bust, your half length, that's from your shoulder to the curve here, that's your half length. Then the full top measurement. If you want a crop top, you leave it at the length where you want it. You have to take the measurement. If you want a full top, just like what I'm putting on, this is a full top. You take the measurement from your shoulder to wherever you want the top to get to. I'll be taking in this video. Then after that, you go over to the lower body measurement, which is the waist, where you leave your trouser. Where I leave my trouser and where you leave yours is not the same. That is the essence of the measurement. So you take your waist measurement at where you are from Turkey. Okay, welcome. I'm from Nigeria. I'm taking this video in Nigeria. Okay, welcome to my live stream. Stay tuned. So you take your measurements for the trouser at wherever you leave your trouser. Some people, they sag their trouser, some they take it to the waist, some they take it a bit above the waist, that's high waist. So wherever you leave your trouser, you take the measurements at that place. That becomes your waist for the trouser. Now your waist for your top and the waist for the trouser is not the same. The reason it's not the same is because where I keep my trouser is not the same with where you leave your trouser when you are putting it on. So wherever you leave your trouser, whenever you are putting it on, that becomes your trouser waist. So I'm going to take that in this video. Then after that, I will take my crotch. I will show you how to take a proper crotch measurement for you not to have this gapping or not fitted crotch. Okay, I'll take that in this measurement, in this video rather. Then after that, I'll take my hip measurement for the trouser and the waist to the knee. Very important, depending on the style of the trouser. If you want a free trouser from the waist down, you don't need the waist to the knee. But if you want a palazzo trouser that flows from the knee down, you need the waist to the knee. So I'll be taking that in this video, and the full trouser measurement, which is from the waist down to the floor. That is how I want my trouser to look. If you want a three-quarter, you measure from the waist to wherever you want your trouser to stop. So let's get straight to the video. Then after the waist to that's the full trouser length, then you take your ankle measurements. That's the wideness of the trouser. The wideness of the trouser. If you want it pencil, if you want it a bit free, if you want it palazzo, you implement that on the ankle measurement. So first of all, I'll be starting with my shoulder measurement. And in case if you are the type that makes clothes for yourself, just like I do for myself, I make all my clothes. In case if you are the type, maybe you don't make for clients, but you make for yourself and your family, you will equally learn how to take a proper body measurement by yourself in this video. Okay? So, first of all, I am taking my shoulder measurements. Because I'm already used to this, I already know where to place my tape. Remember, you have to have your materials present, not when you started measuring, you have to go and start looking for you have to go and start looking for the materials that you use for the work. So for me to have my shoulder measurement, I have to measure from my shoulder bone. Hello, welcome to my live stream, compliments of the season. So I have to measure from my shoulder bone to Tivo. You're welcome, okay? Welcome to my live stream. Welcome to Everyday with Esther. So I have to measure from my shoulder bone to the next shoulder bone. Alright? Now this is my next shoulder bone. I've taken from here, I've placed my tape here, and I am taking it to here. Remember, your tape has to go straight from your shoulder to the neck. It doesn't have to slack, okay, for you to have the accurate shoulder measurement. And because I've taken that, I have my shoulder measurements to be 17. I have my shoulder measurement to be 17. So you put it down. Alright. The next measurement I have to take, as I'm making a top and a trouser. First of all, I'm taking the top measurement. So the next measurement I have to take is my bust measurement. Okay. In the bust measurement, because I'm measuring myself, I will have to take it this way. This way. I have to take it this way. Remember to put on a firm bra when you're taking your measurements. Put on a firm bra because that will determine the measurements you will get. Alright? So, this is it. You can see my tape did not go down. It's aligned on my bust area. It's aligned on my bust area. This is 43. I'm making a free shirt for the trouser. I want a matron style. I'm making a free shirt for the trouser. So I'll be adding additional inches in order to make it to be as free as I want. Remember, whichever style you are making for yourself, always consider your body type. Always consider the type of body you have. There are types of bodies, okay? There are shapes of bodies. My shape and your shape is not the same. So whenever you're making a clothes for yourself and you know your upper body is bigger than the down part, do not go and make a style that will show the total shape that you have. Try to complement, try to free up the down part. Put on free, something that will be a bit free for your total body not to show, right? Except to have this curvy shape, then you can sample your body. So I have 43 as my bust measurement, and I'll be adding 2 inches. I'll be adding 2 inches. I can actually add 3 inches depending on what I want. So I have 43, alright? Then the next I have to measure is my half length. Remember, my half length and yours is not the same. Now your half length should be measured from your shoulder line down to your curve, to your waist curve. That's the easiest way to get your half length. You can put your hand there and make sure it passes through your bust, alright? You shouldn't go this way or this other way. You should move straight. Your tape should move straight down and trace your curve with your hand. Alright, so this is my half length. So I have my half length to be 70, but I will be using 18. The next is my waist. So on the half length, that is where you measure your waist. That's where you measure your waist. On the half length, you take your waist measurement on the half length. Okay, I'm making a free shirt. It's gonna be free, so I think I just have to take the whole measurement from here. All right. So let me just take accurate measurement. So I have my waist to be. My waist is actually 30. You can see 36. That's my normal waist, 36. But I'll be adding some inches to get the desired space that I want on my clothes. So my waist is 36. Then I'll be measuring my top length. My top length. The top length. Remember, I said initially that I want a full top length. I'm not making a crop top. I want it to get to this place. So I have 27. I actually have 27 here. But I can actually make it 28. I'm making it of 28. Remember, you have to add some allowances. Personally, I like bold hemming. If you like tiny hemming, you can add 1 inch. If you like bold hemming, you can add 3 inches or 2 inches, depending. 2 inches because you have to fold one inside them. Depends. It all depends on the fabric you have and what you want. So my top length is 28. I will be adding +2. So the total top length that I'll be measuring will be 30. Alright? So the next I have to measure is my sleeve length. What type of sleeve should I make it? I actually have a particular style in mind. So I think I prefer, I'll be needing a free sleeve, a kind of a flare sleeve, a bit flare sleeve. So that means I'll be taking a full sleeve measurement. Okay, a long sleeve, but it's gonna be free at the down part. So I have 22 for my sleeve length. Sleeve length 22. Then round sleeve. Always remember, your round sleeve will be measured at the exact point where your sleeve stops. So where you got your sleeve length, that is where you will take your round sleeve. If you are following my video, you can comment. Please give me a thumbs up, alright, for me to know that you are following my video. Thank you. So the sleeve length, I will be making use of 13. 13 is fine, or 14. Alright, I'm making use of 14. My right sleeve, I'm making use of 14. My sleeve length is 22, and on that point where I measured my sleeve length, where I got my sleeve length, that is where I measured the round sleeve. So the next I have to take is my trouser waist. Trouser waist. My trouser waist, remember I said it has to be where you leave your trouser. Where you leave your trouser. Me, I like it high waist. So this is where my trouser stays, okay? And this is where I'll be taking my trouser waist measurements. And I have it to be 37. The next is my hip measurements. My hip measurements. So for you to take your hip measurements, bring your two legs together. Bring your two legs together and measure. This is my hip. Now measure. This is your back. My tape has to go on top, not the legs, not above, but on the center. Alright? On the center. Then bring your legs together. And this is my hip measurements. Alright? Make sure that it's a bit free. Make sure it's a bit free. So my hip is 42. Then my crotch depth. My crotch depth The simplest way to measure your crotch depth, the simplest way to have an accurate crotch depth, pass your tape. All right, now take it up, pass it, take it up. This will give you an accurate crotch depth to where you leave your trouser. Remember, to where you leave your trouser. This will give you an accurate crotch depth. Now I have my crotch depth. Whatever it gives me is what I will use. 28. That's my crotch depth. So remember, we still have to divide all these numbers that we are getting. We still have to divide. Some will be divided by 4. Some will be divided by 2. All right? But you cannot use the measurements like this. You must divide. So my crotch depth, I have 28. Just like in crotch depth, you will divide only by 2. You won't divide by 4. You will divide only by 2. But like your bust, your waist, you divide by 4. Your shoulder, you will divide by 2. Your trouser, waist, you divide by 4. Your hip, you divide by 4. Alright? So that's that. The next I have to measure is my trouser length. My trouser length, okay? Remember, place your tape on where you leave your trouser. That's your preference, wherever you wish it, wherever you know you leave your trouser, where you're putting it on. Place your tape there. Remember, I'm taking the measurement by myself. I'm the model, so I've placed my tape. I will hold it here. I'm taking my trouser length, so I'll still hold it and trace it down. All right, down to the floor. I have 42. 42 my trouser length. I'll be adding, give or take 1.5 inch or 2 inches to be on a safer side. So my trouser length, I have 42. All right, and remember, all the additions, all the allowances you'll be adding must be done after you have divided. It must be done after you have divided. You're not meant to add your allowance with the original figure that you got while taking your measurements. Rather, you add your allowance after you've taken your measurements, you've divided, you've gotten the original figure of which you're going to use to measure, then you add your allowance. Either is allowance or sewing allowance, because there are 2 types of allowance that you add in your sewing or in your cutting before sewing. You add your ease allowance, after that you add your sewing allowance. If you mistakenly add an ease allowance, if you mistakenly add your ease allowance without adding your sewing allowance, that means you're going to sew from your ease allowance. That style will not give you what you want. The only way you get the best of what you want to sew or what you have in mind to sew is making sure that you consider your ease allowance. First of all, you consider your accurate measurements, you consider your ease allowance, you consider your sewing allowance. By so doing, you will not tamper with your ease allowance. By so doing, you will not tamper with your original figure or your original measurements. Hold on, I'm coming, excuse me. So just like I said, we will have to do what? We'll have to take, divide our ease allowance, divide our original figure, then add our ease allowance and our sewing allowance. Thank you. The next figure we have to waist to knee. Waist to knee. It's important in trouser making. Waist to knee. Remember your preference of waist position. Place your tape there. Place it there. Don't bend. If you're taking your measurement by yourself, place your tape there. Hold it. we support it with this hand, okay? Then you can bend for you to get the accurate measurement. I have 22. Another way you can actually get your, then the next we have to measure is the ankle measurements. The ankle measurements, I have to bring up my leg for you guys to see. It has to be the way you want the trouser. The style of the trouser determines your ankle measurement, okay? So me, I'm making a free trouser. So I'll be using 18. Alright? Yours can be 12, depends on the style that you are making. So my ankle measurement is how did I measure it? I think I measured 18. Yes, I measured 18. My ankle measurement is 18 because I want a free trouser. So what we have to do now is to divide. Alright? After measuring, you divide. So just like I said initially, there are body parts that you don't divide by 2. There are some you divide by 2, there are some you divide by 4. Okay, just like the shoulder. Since I have my shoulder, the shoulder is divided by 2. You don't divide the shoulder by 4, you divide it by 2. So my shoulder is 17, and I'm making a shape. Remember, I'm making a shape for a trouser, and I'll be adding a sleeve to it. These are things you consider for you to have the perfect fitting of the style that you want. There are things you consider. Number one, if you're making a cloth that will have a sleeve, you consider the allowance of which you will join the sleeve to the main cloth, which you can add half inch is enough. Alright, if you did not join it, if you did not add it, that means you'll be removing it from the original measurement, and you know what that means. You are reducing the measurements of your accurate measurements. That's what it means. Okay, so always consider things like this. Now, because my shoulder is 17, I will divide by 2. 17 divided by 2 is 8.5. Then remember, I'll add half an inch. I'll add half an inch for the joining of the sleeve. Okay, so I'll have 9. Then my bust, I'll be dividing it by 4. Let me get it. So I'll be dividing my bust measurement by 4. So I have 43 divided by 4. I have 10.75. 10.75. I'll be adding a sewing allowance of 1 inch. So plus 1 inch, and my ease allowance of 2 inches plus 2 inches, alright? Plus 2. So that means I'll be having 13.75. I can actually approximate it to 14. To be on the simpler side, I can approximate to 14. Or you can leave it at 13 point, at whatever measurement you got. Then There are also measurements that you don't divide. Now, vertical measurements you don't divide. This is vertical. You don't divide. Horizontal measurements, some you divide by 2, some you divide by 4. Vertical measurements you don't divide. Vertical measurements are like measurement from my shoulder to my bust. You don't divide. Assuming you're making a bust here or a corset. Measurements from here, measurement from my shoulder to my bust. From my shoulder to your bust, you don't divide. From your shoulder to your half length, you don't divide. From your shoulder to the full length, you don't divide. So these are the measurements you don't divide, okay? Good. So the next I have to divide is my waist measurement divided by 4. I have 36, so I'm going to divide by 4. 36 divided by 4. I have 9. That's my waist measurement. I have 9 plus sewing allowance 1 plus ease allowance 2. So I have 12 in total. Top length I have 30. Sleeve length remains the same because it's a vertical measurement. Alright, we don't divide that. Then the trouser waist I have 37. I'm going to divide by 4. So 37 divided by 4. I have 9.25. 37 divided by 4. I have 9.25 plus 1 inch sewing allowance plus 2 inches. These 2 inches, I'll make it 1 inch again. So I have 11.25. I can actually make it. I'm using elastic, so I can actually make it 12. So crotch depth, we divide only by 2. My crotch depth, I divide only by 2, okay? So because I have 24, that means I'm going to make it to be 12. My crotch depth is going to be 12. My trouser length is 42. We don't divide because it's a vertical measurement. 42. I'll only add 2 inches. That's 44. New, I don't divide. Ankle, we only divide by 2. That is 9 plus 1 inch sewing. 1 inch sewing and 1 inch sewing is enough. No need for the allowance. So that's gonna be 10. Alright. 1 inch sewing. So that's going to be 10. So let's get straight into cutting of the fabric using this measurement. You can see that I've done all the calculations. And I have my accurate number of figures to use for the cutting. So I will be cutting immediately. I'll be cutting immediately. And this is the fabric that I'll be using to, I'll be cutting on. This is the fabric I want to use for this very tutorial. You can see my fabric is very fine. So while making yours, make sure you get a good fabric. Okay? Make sure you get a good fabric that will bring out the beauty of the style you want to make. My fan is disturbing me. So this is the fabric. This is the fabric that I'll be using. So, first of all, I have to measure, I have to get my trouser length. Get your trouser length first of all. Remember, you get all your vertical measurements before the horizontal measurements. That's all the straight measurements first of all. Okay, so my trouser length, I have to get my trouser length. Okay, my trouser length is 42 and I will be adding 2 inches, so that's 44. I've gotten my trouser length. The next I have to measure is my, I'm measuring the down parts before the upper parts, and I know my reason for that. The next I have to measure is my hip. Okay, and my hip location will be on my hip location You know, we did not measure it. I already know my hip location, but you can actually measure from where you leave your trouser to your hip bone. That's your hip location. Okay, so my hip location is 9 inches. But this trouser, first of all, is going to have, this trouser is going to have elastic band. So I'll be adding 2 inches for the elastic band in this video. I'll be adding 3 inches for my elastic band. Okay, if you will not be making use of elastic band, then you can leave it, but me, I'll be making use of elastic band. That's why I added this. I added 3 inches for my elastic band. So every other measurement comes after the measurement of the elastic band, because this will be folded inside. So my hip location, I'll be having is 9 inches. Okay, my crotch depth, remember I measured 22 divided by, so my crotch depth is 12. And my knee to my waist to knee is 22. Remember I said measure all the verticals before the horizontal. My trouser length is 42, and I added additional 2 inches, making it 44. So the measurements that I measured at the other parts, I'll be taking the same measurements here in order to get a straight line. So 9, 12, 22, 42, and 2 inches. Alright, I am joining the two marks together, so it will be easier for me to trace. That's what I'm doing here. It will be easier. I hope you are seeing what I'm doing. So the next I have to measure is the horizontal. The next I have to take is the horizontal measurement. The horizontal measurement is the next I have to take. So we get our measurement book and check. Now the waist, remember I have the waist. Trouser waist is 37 divided by 10. That's 12 inches in total. I've done all the division. Anyway, you're confused, go through this video. It is well detailed. All the division, they are well detailed. How I got the 12, how I got the initial, the ease, the ease allowance, the sewing allowance, how I divided and arrived at any particular figure. It is well detailed, so they are all in this video. I'll just be picking the numbers that I've already arrived at. Okay, so the waist of the trouser, I have 12 inches. 12 inches. I have 12 inches. I have 12 inches for the waist. Okay, I'll be using my pen. So I have 12 for the waist, the hip, the hip is 42 divided by 42. 42 divided by 4. 42 divided by 4 will give me 10.5 plus give me 10.5. I did not divide the hip the initial time, so that's what I'm doing now. It will give me 10.5. Then I will add 2 inches is the allowance. That's 12.5 plus 1 inch for sewing allowance, which is 13.25. I can actually make it 13 points. So that will be measured on the hip location. Okay, 13.5. It should be measured on the hip location, which I have here. Then the crotch depth. Now the circumference of the crotch will be, that's the measurement we will measure on the crotch depth. It should be your lap measurement, and this is how you measure your lap. Okay, just cross the tape on your lap. If you want it tight, you measure. If you want it anyhow you want it, you measure. So this is it. I have 13. I have 26. When I divide by 2, I will have 13. All right. Then I will equally add my ease allowance of 2 inches. That is 15, and sewing allowance of 1 inch. That should be 16, and it should be measured on my crotch depth. Then the round new, as you want it. Okay, as you want the trouser to be. I have 22. It should be divided by 2. Then I will have 11. I will add 1 for my sewing allowance. The ease is enough. So, and the round ankle is 10. 10, 10, 10. It's 10. 10. But what I will do is I will use the same thing that I measured of my knee, which is 12. I think I would like it that way. The next thing is to do all the connections. Do all the connections, guys. So we'll be joining from the waist to the hip. From the waist to the hip. Then the crotch and the hip is going to be a curve. It's going to be a curve, guys. So you have to curve it to do the connection. You curve it to do the connection. All right. Then the next we have to join is to the knee. Let me take my round knee again. In this measurement, you don't make mistake. Any mistake, you've damaged your fabric, I tell you. So make sure you have your measurement the way you want it to be. Okay. My knee, I think I'm working with for 24. That's 24. 24. Let me make it 13 for the sewing allowance. Okay. So I'm connecting. And from the knee down. So let me cut out first and proceed to the other side. Now this is the front of the trouser. This is the front of the trouser, guys. This is the front of the trouser. After cutting, if you feel that the shape is not giving you what you want, you make some necessary trimming. You make some necessary trimming. That's the essence of the allowance that you put. Make some necessary trimming when you see that the shape does not give you what you want. Make some necessary trimming, guys. So the next thing is to open the down part. You open this other side. The front part of the trouser is ready. So the next I have to cut is the back part of the trouser. The back side of the trouser is the next thing that I have to cut. The back side of the trouser is the next thing that I'll be cutting, guys. So fold, because you'll be making use of the front pattern. I'll be making use of the front pattern to get the back pattern, but there will be a little change, just little changes that will be applicable. Just little changes. Little changes. Give or take. Just one take. One changes. One change. Just only one thing that will change it. Okay. So I've folded it. Now I'll be adding 2 inches. To the back side. The reason for the 2 inches is because the back side and the front side are not the same. My back and my front are not the same. That's why I'll be adding these 2 inches here. Alright. So let's get straight. First of all, and I still added 2 inches to the front. I still added 2 inches to the flap. And I added 2 inches up here too. Okay. So I'll be considering the 2 inches I added here, and I'll use my ruler to take it to the waist again. I'll still connect it to the waist. It's for the trouser not to hang at the back part. That is the reason for that. And my front, I will trim it a bit. For it not to be floppy on the front part, I will still connect it to the waist like that. Alright, so the front and the back is ready. The front and the back of the trouser is ready. The next we have to cut is the top. We have to cut the top, guys. Let's cut the top. So this is the remaining fabric, and that's what I'll be using to cut the top. This is the remaining fabric, and it's what I'll be using to cut the top. You know the fan. Fan is disturbing. So I'll be sitting down to cut my top. Always remember to take the vertical. Oh, bless me. Always remember to take the vertical measurement first before the horizontal, okay? So the vertical measurement of my top, I'll be taking, oh, bless me. I'll be taking my top length. I'll be taking my half length, which is 17. My armhole, which is 9. My top length, which is 28 plus 2. So I have 28 and I have 2. That's 30 in total. I'll still take the same measurement by this side in order to have a straight line while joining. So I have 9 inches. I have 9 inches. I have 17. I have 28, 30. That's right. So connect. This is my half inches. This is my half length rather. My top measurement is this. My top length is this. I'm connecting now. The length of the top. The length of the top. My armhole, 9 inches, is what I'm connecting. So the next I have to take is the horizontal measurements. I'll start from my shoulder. My shoulder measurement, I have 17 and 17 divided by 2. I have 8.5, then I'll be adding half an inch. That's why I got 9 inches. So my shoulder measurement, 9 inches. 9 inches. As I take it down, I'll still measure it on my bust measurement in order to get the straight line. In order to get the armhole, 9 inches. A straight line for the armhole. A straight line for the armhole. I'll come down by 1 inch. Then my neck measurement, I want a V-neck. So the width of the neck, I'll be using 3 inches. I'll be using 3 inches, but the depth, I will be using 5 inches. Alright? 5 inches. Let me make it 5.5. 5.5 inches. Then I'll connect it to be a V line. You know how to make a V line. If you don't know, leave a comment on the comment section how to make a V neckline. Okay, then I can teach you that in my next video. So I have a V neckline here. The next thing I'll do is to connect my neckline to the 1 inch drop down. Connect my neckline to the 1 inch drop down. Okay, so the next thing is to measure my bust. My bust measurement, which I've already divided, and I got 14 inches for the whole, including the ease allowance that I want, how free I want the top to be. I got 14 inches. Alright, so I will just make a curve on the armhole. That's that. My waist measurement, I got 12 inches, and I feel it's okay. 12 inches. Let me make it 12 and a half. 12 and a half inch. Then my hip measurement now. The hip is always, that's where the top will drop, which is that 28 inches. I have to take around, I have to take circumference of that place, which is this place. It's almost on my hip shape. Alright, it's almost on my hip. So definitely I'm going to make use of the normal hip measurement. That's 10 and a half plus 2. So far, let me make it 14. Normal hip measurement 14. So my hip measurement is 14. The next thing I have to do is to do all the connections. Connect from my armhole to my waist. If you were not following when I did the measurement and the calculation, go through the video when it's been posted. Okay, you will understand it very well. So our top is ready like this now. Our top is ready. The top is ready, as you can see. So on the down part of the top, right here, I'll come up by 1 inch. I'm taking a curve for the distance not to have a sharp bend. That's the reason, nothing else. It's not a style, it's just for it not to have a sharp bend. So I'm cutting already. My shoulder, that's the 1 inch that I took. I'm cutting it off. My armhole, that's what I'm cutting right now. Make a good curve there. Then down to my bust and down to the length of the top, and our top is ready. The front part of the top is ready, guys. So the next is for me to use the front parts to get the back parts. Cut the sleeve and later on cut the cape that will be on the neckline. Later, that's when the sewing must have been done. I actually have in mind to make this sewing this night, but I'm not sure it's going to be possible. I'm not too sure. But let me see. Sure. Let me see. If after cutting I have the strength, I can proceed with that. If not, I'll do that tomorrow. So I'm trying to fold the fabric to cut the back the back pattern of the top. This fabric is fine, but it doesn't have weight, so you have to take your time to fold it very well. Take your time to fold it very well. If you're working with a fabric like this, always fold it. Make sure they are all equal. If not, you have a wrong cutting, and by then you must have wasted your fabric. So always take your time, don't rush. Fold it very well. So we are ready to place the front pattern. Place it, and I'll be adding 1.5 inch on the back shoulder. You know why I'll be adding it? Because I don't want the back part to be hanging like. So you know, the front and the back does not have the same measurements. If you don't do it that way, you notice that your back, that's why some people's clothes used to go up. It used to go up. So to avoid that, you add 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch, or even 1 inch. Will still help you than using the accurate measurements that you got for the front part to the back part. Always add 1 inch or 1.5 inch. Okay, then you slope it and join. So I'm using 1.5 inch here. I'm using 1.5 inch. The rest is the same except the neckline. I'm cutting using the front pattern as base to cut out the back pattern. So the next thing is to cut out the neckline. Because of the style I want to make, I will just make my neckline to be 2.5 inch down, or even 2 inches down. So that when I add the cape to balance. So as it is now, the top, the front and the back top is ready. The next is the sleeve. Cut the sleeve and we are done. I'll try to be as fast as I can. Now you can see that. That's why I always say that's why I always advise for you to cut the trouser first. Whenever you are making a pants, trouser and top, always cut the trouser first. In case if your fabric is not going to be enough or is becoming pieces, you can always join in top, but you can't join in trouser. So the sleeve is 22. Okay, I'm lucky. I will still have what we my fabric will still be enough. Actually, I bought this fabric for me and my husband. I wanted us to use it as uniform. That's for me a top and a trouser, then for him a shirt, which he can actually use a black trouser to wear. But I'm not sure it's going to be enough again. So what I can actually do for myself is, maybe when I'm done, I can use the remaining for, I don't know, when I'm done, shall know what to do with it. I'll know what to use the trouser for. I shall know what I'll use the pieces that will remain. I want to cut the two sleeves together. This is going to be possible for me. That's what I'm trying to do. Like this. I want to cut the both together. First of all, I'll check the length. If the length will give me what I want. The normal length that I have is 20. It will be enough. See now. It will be enough. So when I fold together, I'll still check again if it will give me the sleeve, the width of the sleeve that I want. I'll still check before doing the final cutting. So the down part of my sleeve is my sleeve length. My round sleeve length, my round sleeve is 14. 14, so I'll have 7. I'm making use of 7. Okay, it's still okay. So I'm good to go. You see? So first of all, my armhole, which is the armhole that I measured in that top, which is 9, but I'll be doing 10 here. I'll be doing 10. Then I'll come down by 5 inches again, and my sleeve length is 22. I guess I'm right. My sleeve length is 22. My sleeve length is 23. Oh. I will add, my sleeve length is 23. 23. I will add 2 inches for the sewing. No need to economize fabric again since it's enough. So 23. Just like I told you guys, I like bold hemming. 2 inches again for the sewing. Then the same 5 inches here. 5 inches here. Then join this thing together. Join the connections together. Okay. Join together. And this will help me for easy connection and all that. As I have joined together, what I will do now is to get a curve of this. you have a French curve, use it and connect. If you don't have, Ukuma, use your hand and do the connection. If you know the French curve, use your hand and do the connection. If the curve is right, you will know. If it's not right, you will know. So the round sleeve that we have here is 14 inches. 14 inches. Let me confirm first before cutting it. It's 14 inches, but I'll add 1 inch for that's 14 divided by 2 is 7 now. Remember I said some measurements you divide by 4, some you divide by 2. So this one will be divided by 2. That's 7 plus 1, 8 inches. So what we do is connect it to the armhole, and your sleeve is ready, guys. Just do the connection to the armhole, and our sleeve is ready. So I'm talking to you, our sleeve is ready. Already cutting out at once. So guys, our clothes is ready. We are done with our cutting. The next thing we have to do is to sew. We'll probably do it tomorrow. We'll just sew it. So I'll give you a mark to show where the joining will take place from. So we are done with the cutting, guys. So guys, we are done with the cutting. Tomorrow we will do the sewing. Okay, thank you guys for watching. See you in my next live. All right, good night, God bless you, and always celebrate, because this is the season of celebration. Always celebrate. All right, bye.